Hello everyone, this is Joker and welcome to my channel and a Formula 1 World Championship review, the Bahrain Grand Prix of 2021. Season opening even, and what a race it was. I'm just speechless. It had a very difficult start with a safety car and a virtual safety car. And that was just round 1 and 2, basically. So yeah, it was a real... And troubles didn't even started there. No, Sergio Perez almost out of the race before the race even started. So yeah, what a race it was. This is my first review in a while. So a little bit disclaimer, I cannot promise I will make a review after each and every race, but I will try, especially if I get enough feedback. And so yeah, but this one I really had to make. I am not going into the full race results. I'm just gonna give my reviews, and as you see, Twitter is also blowing up about this race. It was not the most spectacular race. It had a really good start, and the ending, oh my, oh my, oh my. I already talked about the start. So yeah, the race itself was quite normal, not that boring, but not that exciting. A lot of overtakes that we did not see enough from on TV, but we saw a very few good ones still. But I'm just gonna talk about my highlights now. The fight between Hamilton and Verstappen. This was a multi-round fight, a proper fight, even though I'm not really happy a bit with how it ended. In my opinion, Max should have won. Not just because I'm a Max fan, and I'm definitely not a Lewis hater, but it was fair that Max would have given back the position after running wide. However, listening to the radio and extrapolating what was basically said during the driver briefing from that is that running wide on turn 4 would not have been penalized. However, there is still leaving the track and gaining an advantage. The reasons why it wouldn't have been penalized in the initial is because it wouldn't give an advantage. However, if Red Bull is to be believed, it gives an advantage of about 2/10 each round. Not all over the whole race. That has given Mercedes at least 5 seconds to 6 seconds advantage. Seeing the end result, where Max was only 0.7, if I'm correctly, off first place. That is a reasonable, unfair advantage. No, I do not want to see Lewis being punished for that. And it gives a kind of a question mark on it, especially since Lewis did say he was doing it the whole race. So there is something that needs to be looked into that. And furthermore, with the radio, if Max can be believed there very well and my extrapolation is right, there was an agreement to not do it systematically. Now, that is not gentleman behavior if that's the agreement and you do it systematically like both Mercedes cars have done. And like I said, it was fair that Max should have given the position back as he did, because leaving the track and gaining an advantage is a rule. But if the rule counts for Max, it also counts for Lewis and Bottas and any other driver. So I do hope in some way it does get picked up. In what way I cannot say. I just hope it gets sort of amended for next races when things like that happened. If they say we'll not look into it, and yet someone abuses that loophole, it should be hammered down fast and quickly. This was set around round 30, so more than half the race distance. That's a real unfair advantage, if you ask me. And still, the difference was so very small. That gives me hope. So, on a better note, that really gives me hope for Red Bull. Meaning, this fight, it was a real fight. It was not a sham. It was spectacular. It was exciting. It was, exciting. I cannot find any words. I was shaking at the end when seeing it all. It was, oh wow. I enjoyed the fight. And looking back on Red Bull, Sergio Perez, with all the bad luck he had, bad qualification. I mean, he should have done better there, could have done better there, as better said. And then his car basically shut down on the formation lap. Luckily, he got it started, and he finished the race, I believe, 5th? From all the way back. Sure, it's a Red Bull, it should be up there, but still. I do wonder if Sergio was there from the beginning, because that was also a downfall for Red Bull. They had no backup whatsoever. At least Max had no backup whatsoever. Sergio drove a brilliant race, but in the end it was only 10 points picked up for Red Bull, and that's all he did. In that regard, it was not better than Gasly, not much better than Albon either. However, in that regard, he was better than both of them. He did have had a back foot starting that probably not was his own fault. I mean, his car didn't even start up at the beginning. So, yeah, that gives hope for Red Bull. Let's hope that really gives us a good title fight. So far, it's at least 2 teams really fighting on the top, 2 drivers fighting for first place from different teams. I mean, yeah, Bottas was not really there. I'm kind of disappointed in Lando Norris. Leclerc, I forgot where he ended, but he drove a good race, especially for knowing where Ferrari was last year. So that gives me hope. So let's hope that McLaren and Ferrari will be more into the mix coming races. And as a final parting note, I will go to the rookie. For me, he is the driver of the day, Yuki Tsunoda. I know Sergio Perez was driver of the day and he deserved it as well, but Yuki in his first ever Formula 1 race, finishing in the points. Yes, it's an AlphaTauri, and AlphaTauri is basically a car that should be up there now as well. But still, he drove a solid race, making some really bold actions, making them stick. Few, if any, mistakes, no dangerous driving. That's really commendable for a first Formula 1 drive. Sure, he did testing and winter testing, but still, he's a driver to look out for. So, yeah, leave your comments down below. Say what you think of the race. I will give this race a rating. I will give it a solid 8.5 out of 10 points. 8.5 out of 10 points. Right, that was for today. Please leave a like and a subscribe if you want to. And I'll try to keep this up. I'm not going to have a fixed schedule, so it can be right after the race or a day later, 2 at most. At least that's my goal. It all depends on my time and if I can watch the race live due to my